Ooh, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back in this bitch. And the reason I say that when I open these podcasts, open these videos, open whatever you want to call these things, is because I am. I'm back in this bitch. And one good thing about that, the beautiful part about that aspect, is because the people who are listening, who are watching, it's safe to say, if they're watching/listening, they want me back in this bitch. I mean, if you didn't want me back in this bitch, you wouldn't be watching, you wouldn't be listening. So therefore, you want me back in this bitch. Emphasize this bitch, because whatever this bitch is, I'm back in it. Huh? It's Joshua Lamb, the host of the Rollercoaster, a fantasy football podcast. And there's not many left. I hate to say it. And football season, fantasy football season, is coming to a close soon. For most, it was the end of the regular season this past week. Before we dive into fantasy football and all that good stuff, all that jazz, couple updates, couple announcements. Number one, I just got this crispy tee. I mean, listen, one thing this body looks good in is that olive green, that forest green, that army green, sitting on this olive skin. That's one thing. That's number one, is how great I look in this t-shirt. It's number one. Number two, I was realizing that the audio for these videos for YouTube could have been better. And thankful for my homie Blake. Shout out my boy Blake. He told me about these fucking fire mics that I've been using. Had no idea that they were good mics, whatever. But he was telling me I should maybe get a mic for the phone to kind of make the audio a little bit better. So I started looking. I was like, listen, for my followers, for my listeners, for my fans, all 19 of them, I have 19 subscribers. Understand, you're watching a man that has 19 of them bitches. I don't know, pretty good. So I was like, let me get something to up the quality of these motherfuckers. So that's what I did. You see this big boy right in front of me? I want you to bring it up a couple notches to this little cutie right here. I hope this sounds good, because if it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best. It could not be very good, but who's to say? You're still watching, huh? So how about you go suck these nuts? Oh, that was a little much. Was it, though? I don't know. So that's number two. I mean, the production quality is through the roof. I got a damn ring light or some shit. I don't know. I mean, it's making me pop in this olive green. But that's number two. I just wanted to get that over with. Let you guys know that I am trying to just bring the best product possible. Can you even call it a product? I don't get paid for this. Unless somebody wants to pay me for this. One of you 19 subscribers. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can do this without a couple cash in my pocket, huh? Which is a lie, because honestly, I really enjoy this, and thank you for watching. You watching is the support that I want. That's all I need. Because honestly, I just enjoy doing this. But let's get into it. Like I said, this week was the last week of the regular season for most people. And I hate to say it, man, because all off season, you're thinking about your draft. You're thinking about your team. You're thinking about your boys and how you can't wait to smack their asses. In fantasy, of course. You go into that draft with such high hope and high expectations of things you want to see come out of this season, right? Because maybe the year before wasn't that great. Maybe the year after wasn't as good. Maybe it was better. Maybe it was worse. Bottom line is, you come into this season with new hope. And all you can ask for is playoffs. Get me into playoffs. That's what everybody's shooting for. I mean, you can't go into a season saying, I want a chip. I want a chip or bust. You can't do that. And I'll tell you the reason that you can't do that is because there's too many variables. There's too many variables out there for you to go in with expectations of winning a championship. It's downright impossible for you to say to yourself, before the draft, I need to win a championship. I can make it happen. Yes, you can make it happen, but having those expectations are through the roof. Most people are shooting for playoffs. Because usually in like a 10-man league, there's probably like 6 going to the playoffs, maybe 4 if you're real skimpy. I don't know. Bottom line is, you can work your way to that goal, even if your draft isn't great. But if your draft isn't great, a chip is probably not going to happen. I hate to say it. Maybe some crazy waiver ads. I don't know. All I'm saying is you can't set a goal at a championship at the beginning of the season before you even draft anybody. Because injuries, waiver pickups, trades, schemes, game script. What are you going to do? And then on top of that, you got fucking teams balling out on you, nonstop, putting up 150 a week on you. All I'm saying is there's too many variables for you to be shooting for a chip every single year. So with that being said, everybody's goal of getting into the playoffs, a lot of them, it hung on this past week. And I do want to point out that I am matching this Java with my outfit. Was it planned? No. But when I was making my coffee, aka Java, did I notice this green straw in my olive green delicious tea? I did. And did I also see that I was wearing a black hat and this was a black cup? Yes. Sue me, all right? I like style, I like matching, I like to look good, and that's what I do. Let me take a sip of this fucking shit, huh? So, end of the regular season. Week 14, there was some things that were hanging on this week, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Looking at my 10-team league, going into this week, I was 7-6 with like a 98% chance of making the playoffs. I like those odds. And if you watched last week's podcast, you know that those percentages, and they're telling you that you're making the playoffs, like you have like a 37% chance of making the playoffs or something, or fucking 86, whatever it may be. You really don't fucking know until you know. And the only reason, or when you do know, is when the regular season's over and done with. So I'm looking at my team in my 10-team league, 7-6, looking at the rest of the league, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I should 100% make this. Like, what's it going to take for me to not make this? And that's the problem. I have to come up with scenarios of when or how or why I wouldn't make the playoffs in this league, right? At the end of the day, looking at it, I was 7-6. My buddy Bobby Armando was also 7-6. No, yes, he was. He was 7-6. I was 7-6. My buddy in my other fucking conference was 7-6. My other buddy was 7-6. No, actually, he was 6-7. Yeah, he was 6-7. So there was a couple different things. My other buddy was 6-7 as well. So the thing was, if I would have lost, I would have gone to 7-7. It would have gone to points allowed or points for, whatever it may be. Which I'm pretty up there. I cracked 1,700 on the year. The boy was putting that work in. You know what I mean? Listen. But yeah, 98% chance. I felt pretty good about it, but at the same time, you never fucking know, because you really never know, because these fucks don't tell you how to know. Oh my God, it makes me sick. It makes me fucking sick. So, going to this week, man, the J Shags Love Shacks. Boy, are they getting hot at the right motherfucking time, huh? And that's what you want. You know what I mean? And I've spoke about this in the past, that when you start hot in the league, sometimes it hurts you. Sometimes it burns you, because waiver ads are so critical. They're so critical. Like, if you're able to pick up some star because of a lead back goes down or a receiver goes down, and like it bumps up another player into like a fucking really productive role, nobody's going to get that guy that is on the bottom level of that waiver wire. So if you're starting hot, which I did start 4-1 in this league, 4-1, baby, 3-1 in the other league. We'll get to the other league. I'm not happy about it. I could be more upset about it, and I'll tell you why. But I'm not ecstatic. But I started 4-1, and because of that, the waivers were skimpy, baby. You had to find diamonds in the rough. You couldn't just grab somebody knowing that they were going to pop off because they just got bumped into a more productive role, aka Kenneth Walker, aka give me somebody else. I don't know. Kenneth Walker. Fucking Kenneth Walker's another one. Who else? Probably Kenneth Walker. I mean, you like guys like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is there's waiver ads that you need to get early on in your season that pan out for everybody else. And I have a great example for you. My boy KY Jelly, who was 1-5 to start the year, or 1-4, one of the two, was always top of the waiver wire because he was down in the fucking slums, ends up being able to pick up Justin Fields because he was top of the waiver wire. Bro, he went on an 8-game win streak. Bitch made the playoffs. He's like, what is he? What the fuck is he? 9-4? 9-5? I think he started, yeah, he did. He started 1-5, and he goes 8-game win streak, and he ends up 9-5. And it's waiver ads, baby. If you have a time where a guy gets hurt, and you're down in the slums where you're fucking top of the waiver wire, and you get lucky, that's the best. That's the best aspect for you. That's the best scenario for you. And I didn't have that luxury this year. And it attests to my draft and how solid my draft was. And overall, just kind of being unlucky because honestly, in my other league, I wasn't playing great in the first couple weeks, but I was still 3-1, and I missed out on some waiver ads because of it. But I'll take the wins. I don't know. It's a little give and take. But looking at my year in this 10-team league, 7-6 going into this week. I'm playing Brandon Swiftaroo, Scanning Mom's Bombs, who has Justin Herbert, Dalvin Cook. Zonovan Knight, who was a massive waiver wire pickup. Not gonna lie, I probably could have snagged him. I don't think he was super hot on the waiver wire, but he's been damn good. I'm not gonna lie. I played him 2 weeks in a row. This week I played him in the 10 team. Last week I played him in the 12 team. He had 17 last week. He had 16 this week. I mean, that is a sturdy. That's a great waiver wire pickup for the Jet, for a New York Jet that you just grabbed because Michael Carter went down, even though he was back, and Zonovan Knight was still getting hella carries. So Zonovan Knight, Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin, Greg Dulcich, Garrett Wilson, Ravens D, and Brett Maher. I don't know. Dallas fucking kicker. You know what I'm talking about. So looking at it, I'm like, all right, guy has a pretty solid squad. He was 6-7. And he needed a win for the playoffs, man. He needed the win in the playoffs. But like I said, the J-Shag Love Shacks, they've been getting hot at the right time. I mean, looking at the squad, week 13, 165 points. Week 12, 138 points. Week 11, I ain't gonna talk about week 11. I don't think I was that good of a week for your boy. But bottom line is, last 2 weeks, I put up like the most points in the league, right? So looking at it, I was like, let me end off on a solid week. I want to win this week. I don't want to leave up any points for, points against bullshit where I don't know when I wake up fucking Tuesday morning if I'm going to be in or if I'm going to be out. I wanted to know after the Monday night game if I was in or motherfucking out, even though it was a 98% chance, so I was probably going to be in. But neither here nor there. I like gratification, and I want it now. So, looking at my squad, Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, had to start Travis, Homer, fucking Onions, DK Metcalf, CeeDee Lamb, David Njoku, Marquise Brown, Mr. Hollywood, Eagles D, and Harrison Butlips. So, looking at my roster this week, man, and because I had to trade Lenny because of the situation going on with Rachaad White and how they've just been splitting carries, and it wasn't worth holding him if I can get somebody back that with some value. My RB2 slot has been a little iffy. I've had to rotate and try to find replacements for my RB2 slot because I had to get rid of Lenny. And if Lenny's playing, Rachaad White is still like decent. Like he still will give you some goodies. Like he ended up with 11 points, had a fumble, should have been 13. I guess that's solid RB2 numbers. I just can't trust him. You know what I mean? Because game script, hot hand and shit, you just don't know what you're going to get. I'm usually going to throw somebody in there that I know is going to get production. I want 60, 70, 75, 80% of the snap share. You know what I mean? And if I can get that, I'm going to take it. I'm going to put them over like a 50-50 snap split. You know what I mean? So looking at that, I go Travis Homer. In a big week where I wanted the win, I go Travis Homer because Kenneth Walker was out, and I believe DJ Dallas was out. Travis Homer was like the only back there. Apparently, like an hour before kickoff, they come out and they say that the other guy's going to be taking the snaps. I was like, fuck that. No, Travis Homer's he's been good in the instances he got work. I was like, I'm sticking with him. Goes out there, gives me a stinker. Apparently, he had over 90% snap share. He gets me 5.4 points. 5.4 points, 2 catches, 8 fucking yards, 26 yards rushing, and they end up losing. 24-30 against Carolina. Carolina is one of the worst rushing defenses in the fucking league, and you're telling me you only get 26 yards on the fucking ground? I don't know. I mean, I would love a solidified RB2. It would definitely help me right now. Going into the playoffs, it would definitely help me. But that's just not my scenario right now. It's just not. So looking at it, Jalen Hurts, my fucking horse, son of a bitch, he's been so damn good. And now he's the fucking quarterback one on the year. Gets me 30.38, huh? I'm going to take that every fucking day. I'm going to take it every day. So looking at it, 30.38, Christian McCaffrey. I don't like to see injuries. I do not like to see injuries. But Elijah Mitchell going down, Deebo Samuel like hurting his knee a little bit this week against Tampa Bay. It's just stacking up for a very good situation for fantasy owners. For Christian McCaffrey to continue to pop off. I mean, Elijah Mitchell was taking too many carries. All those carries are going to be going, oh, we'll see you there, right? Deebo Samuel gets hurt. Next thing you know, Christian McCaffrey pops off for 29.3, 2 tutties, 119 yards in this bitch. The boy's cooking up. He's cooking up a motherfucking sauteed little steak, little mushrooms, onions. Christian McCaffrey has been a fucking horse as well. Jalen Hurts and Christian McCaffrey lead me to the promised land. Give me a chip. I want it. Especially when I have 2 fucking powerhouses in the number 1 and number 2 seed. And you know what I'm talking about. The old cockswingers and fucking Matthew Taft. Son of a bitch. Their teams are looking stout. But I've been putting out more points than them for the past 3 weeks. Yeah, you heard it here first, huh? So Christian McCaffrey, Travis Homer gets me 5.4. DK Metcalf. I apologize for the hate that I gave you earlier on in the season. Because honestly, man, I was looking to trade this dude first couple weeks. I didn't like the production he was getting. I didn't like the targets he was getting. I mean, starting off, 8.6, 7.5 first 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, that's just not going to cut it. It's my wide receiver too. It's not going to cut it. Week 3 gets me 17.4, but he had a tutty. He had 12 targets, 5 catches. But like the thing was, I wasn't liking that. I didn't want it to be a touchdown like dependent situation. But then he starts rallying off games for me, baby. 17.4, 21.9, 17.8. Then gives me 2 stinkers, 5.4, 2.2. And that's where I was like, maybe I shouldn't trade this son of a bitch, right? But then he's back on the fucking horse. 17.5, 15, 13.1, 20, 20.6. No, sorry. 20, 26.7, and then 18.1 for this week. You gotta love that, man. You gotta love that production from the old DK Metcalf when I got him in like the 6th round or like the 5th round. You love that from him. This is wide receiver 1 numbers he's giving me. Go to CeeDee Lamb. Didn't have a great game, even though they're going against Houston. 5 catches, 33 yards. You're averaging under what? 8 yards a catch? Less than that? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So looking at that, I go down to David Njoku, fresh off of an injury. He played pretty solid last week. Goes out there, gets me 7 catches, 60 yards, and a tutty, 18.7 points. Marquise Brown, I don't know, bro. He's just getting back in the swing of things. Kyler Murray went down. Colt McCoy comes in, only gets 4 catches, 34 yards, 7.4 points. But at that point, I didn't care. And you know why I didn't care? It's because Eagles D put up 9. Harrison Butler put up 11. Looking at Swifty Boy, he only puts up 103 for the week. Zonovan Knight put up 16. Garrett Wilson put up 13.8. He had a couple stinkers on his team. Stephon Diggs only gets him 6.7. You have to love that for your boy. You see a star, a guy who carries most teams, only put up 6.7, especially in that weather, man. You're not throwing in that snow. You're just not going to do it. Those flurries, ball's wet. Josh Allen didn't look great. I mean, Stephon Diggs only getting him that. I was like, I have a very, very solid chance of winning this week. Unless somebody else goes for an ungodly day, I'll probably win this week because Stephon Diggs just shit the bed. So looking at it, 103.88 for my boy Swifty. I go ahead going into the fucking Monday night game at 130 points. Already wrapped up the dub. Swift was done. Monday night, I'm chilling, vibing on this league. Keith Brown ends up giving me 7.4. I end up with 138 points in this bitch. 138 points. I have led the league in points the past 3 weeks going into the playoffs. Not only that, I end up 8-6. Bobby Armand goes to 7-7 on a tough loss. Very tough loss. I think he loses by like a couple points. He drops down to 7-7. I take over sole ownership of the 3rd seed. And I love that. You want to know why I love that? Because I get to avoid the old cockswingers in round 2 if I win this week. I'm going against Adam Lamonquiqui, okay, who team's okay. Team's all right. Problem is I have Jonathan Taylor. He has Jonathan Taylor as well. It's okay. I'll get through that. He's projected 117. I am projected 130. If my team plays the way they should play, I should win this week. I should win this week. I'm looking at my squad, projected 130. The boys are playing well. My bench is looking pretty stout if I need to fucking take Latavius Murray out because, I don't know, even though Mike Boone just went out back on the IR, Latavius Murray's pretty much going to be the only guy there, which is going to be lovely for me. Like I said, I hate injuries, but lovely for your boy. But that's about it for this week. For this week, for this 10-team league, I'm looking pretty solid, okay? So looking at that, let's move over to the old 12-team league. And this is where it gets a little dark. And I hate to say it because of how good I look today. And how my olive skin is really working off of this olive green, forest green, delicious tea. I don't want this to take a turn. But damn it, things just don't always work out. They don't. They don't always work out. And I hate to say it. And it saddens me to say it. But looking at this week, I knew one thing. I had to win. I had to win. And my buddy Harrison Harry Nuts had to lose. Okay? Looking at this week, my team didn't perform. God, they didn't perform. And just to clarify, I had to win. Harrison had to lose for me to get into the playoffs. Okay? I would have been the last man in for the playoffs. Looking at it, my team didn't perform. I had to go Latavius Murray, Travis Homer. Latavius Murray gives me 6.1. Travis Homer gets me 5.4. Buns. Absolutely buns. Then we look at my stars, my horses. Amon-Ra St. Brown, only 6 catches, 68 yards, 13.4 points. Not going to cut it. Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 78 yards, 13.8 points. Not going to cut it. Luckily enough, Geno Smith having a rough start gets me 20.56. I will take it. But Josh, listening to all these scores, you could. I mean, how did you even win this week? Did he win this week? Spoiler alert, bitches. I did win this week. I hate to say it. I wanted it to be smooth. I wanted it to be butter. But I did end up winning this week. That's the only high I had. Because let me tell you why. I put up 89.36. Luckily enough, my good buddy Tyler Monaris, love the kid to death. He goes out there and lays a stinker. Guy goes out there and lays a stinker. When you have an opponent and it's playoff or die, baby. It's winner you're out, winner you're in. And your opponent, if your opponent puts up a stinker when you have the playoffs on the line, all you can do is just thank the fantasy gods. God, do I love you, huh? He puts up a stinker. 76.46 points. DeAndre Swift sucked. Michael Carter sucked. Christian Kirk, Noah Fant, 0.0 from Mr. Fant. Love that. Jalen Waddle sucked. 2 catches, 31 yards. That was such a weird game, too. The Titans D gets him -6. Oh, my. If you were looking for the playoffs and your opponent had the Titans D, all you can do is just have a smile on your face. Just a huge grin of how lucky you just got. Because don't forget, I played the Cleveland D a couple weeks ago where I was actually smoked and boned. So having this luck turn up on me felt pretty good. He had 76.46 points. Justin Jefferson almost saved his life with 33.3, had a touchdown. It was a touchdown. They called him out. Looking at the review, luckily enough, they didn't even review it because they called the play dead. But he wasn't out. That would have been a fat stack. He probably would have ended up like over 40 points easy. But looking at my squad, man, I end up going into the Monday night game, DeAndre Hopkins, we were tied at 76.46. Exactly. We had the exact same score. DeAndre Hopkins was the only player left. All I needed from him was 1 catch, and I was Goji. Dubski. W. Okay? DeAndre Hopkins goes out there, gets me 12.9. I end up winning 89.36 against 76.46. And I'm going to tell you why that's big. I'm going to tell you why that's big, because looking at it, I did my part. I did my job. Looking at what else I needed to happen, and usually I don't talk about other teams and other scores and what transpired in the other parts of the week. But looking at it, I needed Harry to lose because he was also 5-8. I was 5-8. And I needed him to lose because he had more points scored than I did. So I needed him to drop down to 5-9 and me be 6-8, and I would have squeezed into the playoffs. He needed to lose this week. Of course, Jerry Jeudy snaps for 33.3 points. Jerry Jeudy, where the fuck have you been all season? Are you kidding? 33.3 points, and you tear my playoff implications and dreams and hopes away from my body? Oh, it's downright sickening. Give me a sip. Looking at it, he ends up putting up 115 points. Going into the Monday night game, my boy Steven Noyes, the fucking man. He's been on a heater, by the way, gambling like a fiend. The guy's been a star. All this guy has is heaters. Guy balls out, all right? Goes into Monday night. He has 71 points already scored. He's projected 117 by the end of the week. And you're thinking, Josh, 117 points. That's more than 115 points, Josh. That's more than 115. And yeah, and if you were sitting in front of me, I would say, yes, my son, my daughter, yes, that is more. You're right. So then what's wrong, Josh? What happened? What happened, Josh? 71 points to 115 going into the Monday night game. He has 3 players. James Conner, the Arizona D, and Kyler Murray. Oh, and Kyler freaking Murray, baby. You gotta be fucking me. And that's the thing. Like I said, I am all for safety and making sure these players are healthy and good, and I should be upset because of their health, and I am. Kyler Murray, I feel for you. I feel for you. That's a torn ACL. And I couldn't. Prayers up to the boy. Hope he gets back there healthy and everything goes smoothly with his surgery, all that jazz. But not only that, that ACL, that ACL cost me a playoff berth. And I'm not trying to be selfish. God, am I not trying to be selfish? But as soon as I saw him go down, I chalked up the L. Yes, I won my matchup, but I chalked up the L. As soon as I saw him go down, I said to myself, I'm out. I'm out. That's it. Let the birds out, let the birds chirp, let the birds sing, let the fat lady sing, whatever it takes to show that it's over. It's over. I didn't even watch the game. After he went down, I didn't even watch the game because Kyler Murray, when he went out, only had 0.66 points. Not even a full John. Not even a full John. Oh my God, was I heartbroken. So the whole game, it was riding on, in my playoff berth, my playoff expectations was riding on Kyler Murray, James Conner, and Arizona's D to get him from 71 points to 117. Do the math. Do it. James Conner pops off for like 23 points. Great game by the guy. That's what I needed from him. Colt McCoy comes in. Wasn't great, but he puts up 11. You're trying to tell me that Kyler Murray doesn't come in there and he puts up 11. The game ends 99 to 115. You know what that tells me? If Kyler Murray comes in there and puts up 15 points, no, what is it? What would it have been? 16, 17 points? If he would have came in and had a regular projection of what his projection was, because he was projected 17, I would be in the playoffs as we speak. Steven Noyes would have took the dub. Harrison Nuts would have dropped to 5-9. The 6-8 J Chips Love Racks would be in the playoffs right now, living large. I went 2-0 this week, baby. I went 2-0 this week. And how do I get repaid? By getting fucked. By absolutely getting fucked and just drop down into the old consolation bracket, huh? But I will say this. Because of this league, we had a little bet going. Of course, we have money on the league, however much money it is. I don't remember how much we put down. Have money on the league. But we also had a punishment for being last in the league. Going into this week, there was like 5 teams that were 5-8. I was one of them. I did not want to lose and even be in the conversation to have this punishment. We go on a golf trip every single year. When I say every single year, we've only been on one. It was last year, but we're making this an annual thing. I didn't want to be in this conversation. We go on this golf trip, and the punishment for this year, the last place finisher for this league, for the golf trip, you had to wear a full getup of women's golf clothes. Skirt, low-hanging V-neck, down to the cleavage, and just smooth, silky legs. I mean, I don't know if that was part of the bet or not, if you had to shave the legs or not, let those babies glisten in the sun. I'm not sure. It would probably make things a little bit more believable if you're rocking that skirt. Nobody wants to see them hairy-ass legs. I didn't want to be in that conversation. I did not want to be in that conversation. So yes, did I win this week. My buddy won, so he jumped me. He is in the playoffs. I am not. But because of my win, I go to 6-8. Multiple of my other buddies go to 5-9. And I'm out of that conversation. Not even close to that skirt hitting these legs. Don't get me wrong, though. I got legs. I got some damn good legs. So one thing I will say, if I needed to wear that skirt, I would wear it with pride. I would wear it with dignity. I mean, I would probably be bombing 300-yard drives right down the middle of the fairway, because that's what I do sometimes, depending on how my slice and my draw is working and other things, other variables. But looking at the playoffs now, yes, the boys who are in the winners bracket, whatever. I'm in the losers bracket. I hate to say it. I hate to say it because, listen, I'm sitting here in front of you talking fantasy football like I'm a genius. I mean, I know my shit, and yet I don't make it into the playoffs. And I hate to be the what if guy, because that's all I say is fantasy football is a game of what ifs. What if Javonte Williams didn't tear his ACL? What if Brees Hall didn't tear his ACL? That's 2 RB1s that I had to go without this whole year. Like over half of the year. Javonte Williams tore his ACL like the third week. So I was this close to making the playoffs without 2 star RB1s. And honestly, it goes back to the other week where I didn't start Geno Smith over Deshaun Watson. It makes me sick. It makes me sick because what if? What if I made the move? What if I made the call? I would be in that winner's bracket just popping champagne, baby. And look at me now. Look at me now in the loser's bracket. And it kills me. It kills me on the inside. But at the same time, I'm not wearing the skirt. Which brings me to this point. At first, we were thinking that we were going to do whoever scored the least points in the league. Whoever had the worst record, and if you were tied with the worst record, it would go to whoever scored the least amount of points in the league. With that being said, I hate to point my guy out because I love the dude. Guy's a stud. Trevor Duke. He had the worst record, well, tied for the worst record, and he also had the least amount of points scored. He jumps into the group chat. He said, so what's the plan for this whole worst in the league thing? I think we should do like a toilet bowl or something. I think we should do maybe like a toilet bowl or something. I think that's what we should do to make sure who wears the skirt. That's what he says. Sly son of a bitch. Guy can sell. I'll tell you that right now. Guy puts a poll into the group message and says, should we do it by points for, or do you want to see the toilet bowl between me and Ridge? Because Ridge was the guy that was right above him when points scored. Trev got his wish. And this weekend, we have a head-to-head toilet bowl matchup between 2 of my bestest friends, 2 of the most genuine guys I know, Trevor Duke and Ridge Dersman, baby. It's going to be a matchup for the century, boys and gals. Whoever wins that game, the loser is going to be rocking a little skirt, hairless legs, low V, ton of cleavage. And I'm excited to see who wins. But you know why I'm more excited? Because I'm not in the game. Yes, am I playing for nothing at this point? Yes. But I'm also not playing to wear a skirt. So bottom line is I'm sitting somewhat pretty. Looking at my other league, I also lost Javonte Williams and Brees Hall. So looking at it, for me to lock up the 3 seed with losing 2 RB1s in both of my leagues, Javonte Williams, Brees Hall in one league, Javonte Williams, Brees Hall in my other league, and me still cracking the 3rd seed in one league and just miss it in the other, especially with DeAndre Hopkins out for 6 games, had a miss with that. I mean, I had shit stacked up against me. Kyle Pitts, I lose him, even though he wasn't great. Man, I was working my ass off to get in the playoffs this year. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, baby. It crumbles sometimes. And sometimes when you crumble, you pick up the crumbs, you put them together, and you eat that bitch up whole. Huh? That's what I tried to do. It didn't work out. Worked out in one league, 3 seed. Count your blessings. Because the boy, J-Shags, Love Shacks, are coming for that ass. Okay? I'm telling you. I got a real shot at the chip this year. 8-6. Cockswingers end up 13-1. Guy's feeling great about it. I mean, he can't stop talking about Luke McDermott. He can't stop talking about this damn thing. He's talking about GM of the year. I don't want to talk about GM of the year when I literally dealt with some of the craziest injuries for fantasy football ever, and I'm still popping on that 3 seed. Let's not talk about it. And I'm getting hot at the right time. Don't catch me right now because you might lose. When I say might, you're gonna. So with that being said, that's it for this week. This is not your grandmother's fantasy football podcast, and yeah. Bottom line is, this is a damn roller coaster, baby. Fantasy football, you gotta love it, and I mean, it stresses me the fuck out all the time. But let's just say this: this was the first week all year that I did not stay up late Tuesday night putting in waiver claims. At this point, your rosters are your roster. Unless an injury happens, there's nobody to fucking pick up. There's nobody to pick up. You have who you have, and you hope to God they pop off when you need them to pop off. And boy, I've been getting hot. So stay tuned. A chip may be coming to the J-Shags Love Racks. And I'm also going to keep you updated on the old toilet bowl. So much love to everybody out there listening, watching, whatever it may be. I want you to make sure you picture me in this olive green shirt because I look damn good in it whenever you think about this and me or whatever you're thinking about. You could be thinking about me. I don't know why. Could be. Maybe not. But much love. Much love to everybody. Let's catch some dubs in these playoffs, and let's fucking do it. All right.